A gracious good day to one and all once again. 'Tis I, Norton the First, by grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, back with you once again for episode number 59 of Emperor Norton's fantastic history vlog. Today is June 1st, 2020, and it is our 78th day under a shelter-in-place order here in the Empire. Let's begin with something a little bit different before we launch into the events of this day in history. As you may know, if you tune into this vlog, that we do not often editorialize, but we have felt compelled, given the events of the last week, and especially the last couple of months, to issue this Imperial Proclamation. Whereas a plague is sweeping our empire, not just a plague of disease, but a plague of ignorance and hatred. And whereas there are now 1.83 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the empire, resulting in the deaths of over 106,000 of our loyal subjects. And whereas racial bigotry and prejudice have fanned the flames of hatred, resulting in many of the empire's cities aflames night after night. And whereas our supposed leader in Washington, D.C. could have prevented much of the illness, deaths, bigotry, and violence had he taken compassionate action. And whereas said leader has only seen fit to fan the flames of bigotry and violence, as well as ignorance, in choosing instead to send out irresponsible messages while cowering in his bunker instead of leading. Therefore, be it resolved that we, Norton the First, by grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, in this the 160th year of our magnificent reign and 202nd year of our imperial existence, do hereby declare and proclaim the presidency, Congress, and the Supreme Court dissolved, and do, as of this moment, reassert our authority as the Emperor of the United States. Don't make me say it again. Well, let's get on with our events of the day in history. We begin once again by utilizing the wonderful book by John Ralston, This Date in San Francisco. And we begin with May 25th, May 30th, 1925, because that was the day the beach chalet opened at the west end of Golden Gate Park. The new beach chalet was one of many projects of Mayor Sonny Jim Rolfe. As San Francisco expanded west and people sought recreation there, the chalet would be a seaside feature along with the Fly Shacker Zoo, Fly Shacker Pool, the Cliff House, Sutro Baths, and Playland at the beach. The chalet cost $75,000 and was the last design of architect Willis Polk. If you've never been there, it is beautiful. It's been restored. The restaurant upstairs is quite excellent. I highly recommend it. Let's move on to May 31st, and this would be the year of 1930. Clint Eastwood and Margaret Ruth Runner in Piedmont, California, met in 1921 when he was 15 and she was 13. Ruth took a secretarial job after graduating from Berkeley's exclusive Girls and Ahead School. Clinton entered the University of California at Berkeley, but dropped out and became a bond salesman. They married in 1928. In 1930, Eastwood was a salesman for Mobile Norris Company on California Street. The couple lived on Beacon Street in Oakland near Lake Merritt, but for whatever reasons, their first child, Clinton Jr., was born in St. Francis Hospital, San Francisco on May 31st, 1930. The birth might have been unremarkable, except that baby Clinton weighed a remarkable 11 pounds, 6 ounces, and little Clinton would grow up to be Clint Eastwood. Make my day. Moving on to June 1st, 1854, That was the day the first lighthouse on the Pacific coast opened at Alcatraz. So the Alta, that newspaper that day said the lighthouse on Alcatraz, or Bird Island, mounted the new Fresnel lens for the first time last evening. It burns brilliantly and in fine weather can be seen at a distance of 12 miles out at sea. The immense amount of coastal shipping, as well as the enormous value of vessels and cargoes from the Atlantic coast and foreign ports, rendered the construction of proper guides for the mariner of paramount importance. The lighthouse was badly damaged in the earthquake of April 18, 1906, and was replaced in 1909 with the present one. Excuse me. Today, of course, being Monday, is Ketchup Day. And because we have to cover both Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, because we do a different vlog on the weekends. And be sure to tune in this Saturday. The Countess and I have something very special in store for you. But to answer the trivia question last week, the difference between fancy and regular ketchup is simply the word fancy. No difference other than that. Also, we did want to address the Imperial whiskers this morning. You'll notice they're a little short. And that is because we decided to grow back the sides and had to trim the goatee to make it even when it all grows in. Our beard will be back to magnificence very, very soon. Let's talk about the national days today. May 30th was My Bucket's Got a Hole in It Day. May 31st was Speak in Complete Sentences Day, so everybody make sure to speak incomplete. And today, June 1st, is National Olive Day, and also the beginning of Pride Month here in San Francisco. Let's go back to May 30th for our events in history. It was on that date in 1896, the first car accident occurs. Henry Wells hits a cyclist in New York City. In 1906, Hershey Park, founded by Milton S. Hershey with exclusive use of his employees, is opened. And 1922, the completed Lincoln Memorial is dedicated by U.S. Chief Justice and former President William H. Taft in front of 50,000 people. 1964, the Beatles' Love Me Do goes number one in the United States. May 31st, 1900, I think we've gotten to, yes, May 31st, what we're on to now, excuse me. Got a little lost there. 1900, U.S. troops arrive in Beijing, China to help put down the Boxer Rebellion. 1907, taxis first began running in New York City, and I bet you couldn't get one then either. 1911, the RMS Titanic was launched in Belfast. 1958, Dick Dale invents surf music with his song Let's Go Trippin'. 1969, John Lennon and Yoko Ono record Give Peace a Chance. You know, there's an interesting story behind the inspiration for that. They had John's son, Julian, staying with them, and he would not eat his vegetables. So Yoko blurted out, "Give peas a chance." And John thought, ooh, that's a good idea for a song. Bet you didn't know that one. Where were we here? 2014, the song Gangnam Style becomes the first video to reach 2 billion viewers on YouTube. And let's see, I seem to have gotten out of order here though. 1971, Ed Sullivan's final show on CBS after 23 years. 1974, the Heimlich maneuver for rescuing choking victims is published in the journal Emergency Medicine. And 1975, Ronnie Wood replaces Mick Taylor as the Rolling Stones guitarist. Moving on to June 1st, 1843, Sojourner Truth leaves New York to begin her career as an anti-slavery activist. 1880, the first paid telephone service in the United States is installed in New Haven, Connecticut. 1962, SS officer Adolf Eichmann is executed in Israel after being found guilty of war crimes. Moving on to our births today, well, not today, May 30th. 1896, film director Howard Hawks. 1899, film producer, really the power behind Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, Irving Thalberg was born. 1908, the man of 1,000 voices, Mel Blanc. You're not despicable. If you've never been to his grave, it's in Hollywood Forever Cemetery down in Los Angeles. 1909, clarinetist band leader Benny Goodman. May 31st, wait a minute, yes, moving on to May 31st, poet Walt Whitman. 1898, Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. 1940, Gilbert Shelton, a name that might not be familiar to you unless you are a fan of the underground comic, The Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. Here's our trivia question for today. What were the names of the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers? And I think it's about to debut soon as a cartoon on Adult Swim. We can't wait. We're a big fan of that. Where were we? Oh, here we go. 1948, bassist or drummer, I can't remember which. Oh well. Led Zeppelin, John Bonham, drummer, it said so right here. And 1965, Brooke Shields. Moving on to June 1st, 1882, John Drinkwater. Oh, I forgot to bring water to drink. Oh well. He was an English poet and playwright. 1921, band leader Nelson Riddle. Was a conductor and orchestrator for Capitol Records. Such artists as Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, Judy Garland, and Dean Martin. 1962, we had the birth of Norma Jean Mortensen in Los Angeles, California, but you know her better as Marilyn Monroe. 1934, Pat Boone. 1935, Reverend Ike. He was an early television preacher, a fixture on LA TV, I don't know about anywhere else. 1937, the current voice of God, Morgan Freeman. 1939, Cleavon Little, remember him from Blazing Saddles. 1940, the actor Rene Auberjonois, who just probably butchered his last name there, Auberjonois, who passed away recently. And 1947, happy birthday to Ron Wood of the Rolling Stones, once again. It's gone to our deaths for today. May 30th, Joan of Arc was executed and burned at the stake at the age of 19. 1778, Voltaire, the great writer and philosopher and playwright. 1912, aviationist Wilbur Wright, aviator Wilbur Wright. 1967, Claude Rains, The Invisible Man, Night in Casablanca. 1987, Turk Murphy, you probably don't know who he is, but listen closely to the music we're playing today. He composed the number Emperor Norton's Hunch for his jazz band. 1993, musician Sun Ra, and 2019, another musician, Leon Redbone. May 31st, 1809, we lost Franz Joseph Haydn, the composer. 1976, Martha Mitchell, better known as Moutha Mitchell, for her role in the Watergate scandal. She was the wife of the attorney John Mitchell and had kind of a big mouth. 1977, film director William Castle. 1989, Terry Drinkwater. Oh well, forgot the water. 1993, Spuds MacKenzie. We lost Spuds MacKenzie. 1996, Timothy Leary. 2009, Malvina Dean, the last living survivor of the Titanic disaster. And 2013, a particular favorite of mine, Jean Stapleton, who was on All in the Family. I saw her in Blythe Spirit once. She was delightful. And just the other day, we lost the great artist Christo, who liked to rap things. Moving on to June 1st, 1868, the death of James Buchanan, 15th President of the United States and one of the absolute worst. 1927, Lizzie Borden. I heard she was a real hack. 1968, Helen Keller, who was both blind and deaf, but had a brilliant career. 2001, Hank Ketchum, the artist behind Dennis the Menace. And 2014, actor Ann B. Davis, who you might remember from The Brady Bunch. Well, that wraps it up for today's vlog. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay inside, stay healthy. If you go outside, wear a mask, don't take unproven remedies, and be kind to one another. We can't emphasize that enough. Much of our world's problems would simply be solved if we were kind to one another and treated each other equally. a gracious